Welcome and welcome back. I'm Martin, and in today's video I would really like to show you 3 things why I do enjoy Quadral 3 by Soundiron a lot. I already made a live stream pretty long where I played with all the presets and went through the tech specs and showed the display and how the engine works and everything. The link should be somewhere here around, pretty long video obviously. And then there was this holiday noodle where I just randomly played with some of the presets that really inspired me, and this brings me directly to point 1. In this library you do find over 300 factory presets. They are divided into ARPs, bass, FX, leads, pads and plugs, so I'm pretty sure even the lazy pigs amongst us do find some sonic playground to get inspired by. And by the way, in Bavaria we do not say lazy pig, we say a fauler Hund, which means literally a lazy dog, and I'm pretty sure already that information is worth a thumbs up. And brings me directly to point 2. The wonderful synthesis engine of Quadral 3 is based on 4 different layers, and each layer can be adjusted and tweaked and whatsoever separately. That's pretty cool. So if we switch off layer 2, 3 and 4, we only remain with layer 1 for each layer. Then you do have the category of the sound source. Just to go through some of them. And within each category you do have then up to 25, if I remember well, different sound sources within that category. Let's just choose one. Then you do have for that layer the volume, the attack, the offset and the release, the vibrato depth, the stereo width, the panning and even the pitch. Doesn't end here, because on this layer you can switch on the legato, which brings it to a mono source. Then you do have here the timing for the legato itself and the portamento speed from one note to the other. And this is only layer 1. You see, if I go to layer 2, that is switched off because I switched it on only on layer 1. That alone is pretty impressive. If I switch on all 4 of them, but it doesn't end here, would be too simple. No, you do have then this wonderful XY pad. By the way, even here you do have the filter and the arpeggiator. Even this one is related to that single layer. You see really know your tools, know your libraries. There is lots of stuff to play with in this library. I really like it. Soundiron did a wonderful job, really, with this one. This is the kind of library that I like, you know, just a playground where you can tweak everything to your liking until you find that sonic result that you're really looking for. If we go to the XY pad, then the thing gets pretty interesting. You do have the XY pad, and obviously here you do have, you know, right click, learn Midi CC automation, so you could assign this to any fader or knob that you have. And here you do choose what the X axis and what the Y axis actually are doing. So you could simply use this as a fader between the 4 sound layers. It's still animated. I switch it off. See layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 and layer 4. Or we animate this, go through the sounds. Here you do have the speed. For the X and for the Y you do have the range, if you would like to limit the range, or if you really... But it doesn't end here, it goes even further. You can choose to not only, you know, fade between the sources, you can even trigger a macro with this. You have up to 4 macros. Here you do have value of that macro. Now if you see, now the macro is, what is a macro? You do have here the 1, 2, 3, 4 different tabs for the macros, and on each macro you can set up to 4 settings that will get then modulated via the XY pad. And you can choose here the minimum and the maximum amount of the destination, which can be layer 1. And in layer 1 then you can choose the parameter that you would like to modulate, let's say pitch, which is pretty extreme, but it gets you the idea, or the panning. And then you have it going left, right, or you do the vibrato depth, or the cutoff, or the resonance, the arpeggio speed. By the way, another thing, just quickly, those red keys, they are key switches with which you can go through the various sounds within one category, now that I saw them. Back to the macro engine. Here in macro 1, you can say, you know, it goes to the layer, or you can go to the effects rack, which you have 2 of them, the rack 1 and the rack 2. Here you choose the effect that you would like to have in here, a compressor or an EQ or a filter or a rotator or whatsoever. You can switch it on, you can switch it off, and then here you can say in the FX rack you would like to go on slot rotator, and then from the rotator you can choose the parameter that you would like to have modulated with that XY pad. I think this is pretty impressive, don't you think? And we come to point 3. If you're not happy with the categories and the sounds that they provided, you can use even wave tables if you want, or, and now there comes the coolest part, you can use your very own samples. I just sampled one note on the violin, this one, and we will use it here. We will go to user samples, we will drop that note in here, and then what's pretty cool, you can tell even what note that was based on. There it is. There's the panning, the attack, the offset, the release, and then you can combine this, the others. And obviously switch on the magical engine. Another nice feature, didn't talk about it, is this one. You press this cube icon and then it just gets randomly a new sound. This can be pretty much fun. Just to show you a bonus point. The bonus point is the interface is purple. I suggest now we just listen again to some of those short cues that I just played during the holiday doodle, and see you in the next video or in the next live stream. Bye bye.